Bro, it always says Braun Strowman is a fucking $1 million champion for me.
The fuck? Why?
I don't know.
Bruh. Alright, we're live.
I look at our picture from our first takeover compared to our second. It's so weird.
The change.
I told you didn't tie your hair up.
I don't know why I didn't, bro.
You just look like a nice little church boy.
Wait, what? I don't think church boys had long hair.
A hood church boy, right?
What the fuck? A hood church boy. What the fuck?
My PlayStation sounds like a fan. I have no idea why. Did you hear JD address the situation?
Yeah, I'm fucking watch that show.
I mean, dang.
Yeah, his ass apologized and shit.
I can't believe they know him. That's so weird. Like, they all know of him.
That shit's nuts.
Yeah, that's so weird. Bro, every single week I put @real, and I go to click the first one and the force of habit, and it's fucking @real Scarlet Bordeaux.
God damn.
Jeez, me so pissed.
Yeah. Well, alright. I'm good. I got the chat off and everything.
We're getting married. What? Very fast at this.
I'm very... You know, all I gotta do is tweet and Instagram post. It's pretty good. Well, I think we got another person, because the thing says 2.
And I'm not in yet.
Alright, nice. So we got
guys. Welcome. Sorry, we're just setting everything up currently.
Just getting it all ready in hand and whatnot. I hope we lost that person.
Sorry, person.
Sorry. How's it go?
Pretty good. I'm done.
Alright, cool.
Just gotta open the chat. It's those tags that kill me. I wish you could preset tags for your stream.
Yeah,
Gonna type out every fucking thing again. Whatnot.
Yeah, that shit, man.
Yep.
Bruh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright.
We're now on the closing course to a fast lane.
Shut the fuck up.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Alright.
It's like Batman on camera. Okay. Now. Okay.
Okay.
We are good to go.
Alrighty.
I don't like JD at all. He's a fucking prick. These are my Twitter notifications.
Oh god. The fuck?
Love JD.
It's from all those people we followed.
Oh, I know. That's where they all fucking come from.
I swear, bro.
It makes Twitter interesting, though. Because you just see the dumb... Like, some of the people are just fucking annoying, but some of the people's takes are so fucking ridiculous, they're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no sense.
We got a man in the chat, LC. Oh, wait. Does that say LC or Lil C Star Lord? What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, man?
Thanks for joining.
Joining the show.
Alright, guys. This is episode 8, part 1 of the Notorious podcast. Now, this edition is the fantasy booking edition. For those of you that have been here since we started this thing, you know, but for the others, we do themes. It goes Mount Rushmore's, what ifs, top 10s, and fantasy bookings. And next week it will be Mount Rushmore's, but for this week, we had to make our stop by the fantasy bookings, and we are here today with Sir K. How are you doing on this wonderful Tuesday evening?
I'm doing very pleasant on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Just chilling, bro. How about you?
Yeah, man. Just chilling. Enjoying a day off. Just chilling. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's about it. So, yeah. Undisputed. We are bringing to you the Undisputed Era debut and the SAnitY debut for the main roster. Now, the Undisputed Era debut, we got a little bit of a different dynamic because this obviously didn't happen yet, as where SAnitY is one of the biggest main roster fails to come out of NXT, obviously. It's a very sad situation. But, yeah, man, just... before we go through the SAnitY one, I'll reiterate, just to remind you again of how bad that run went. But for the Undisputed, there's really nothing to go over other than just a quick question before we get to the fantasy bookings, man. Do you think these guys are coming up soon?
I would think, but there's a lot of news that could say they could be doing something else. So, to be honest, man, I say if they stay in this company, maybe. But other than that, I don't know, man. What do you think?
What? I love Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole as well, man. When is the Adam Cole versus Michael Cole battle of the Cole gimmicks coming? Dude, Michael Cole will win any day of the week. The greatest commentator of our generation. Michael Cole. Of all time, man. Morrow who? JR who? Yeah. It's all about Michael Cole, man. Willie tap. Willie tap. Willie tap.
Taken to a medical facility.
It's one of my favorite Cole gimmicks of all time. It's one of my favorite wrestling gimmicks. This dude, man, has no idea how to act. I don't know how he's been doing it for so long, but he has. And yeah, man, God bless him, because he is fucking awful. And yeah, man, dude. So I remember many weeks ago, I was watching one of the Off the Scripts, and JD had said that there was supposed to be a big storyline, like planned to go through the summer, but one of the coal miners rise up. But one of the biggest things about the storyline being canceled is crowd participation is a huge part of it, and I think one of the things he thought, and I could definitely see it happening, is it would have something to do with the Undisputed Era, because those are guys that have done so well for themselves in NXT. Obviously, they were dripping in gold twice. If you count the little run where Bobby Fish was injured, but he still had their year-end awards. If you count that, these guys have done so well for themselves. That'd be like bringing. I don't want to compare them to CM Punk, but that'd be like bringing CM Punk in as the hacker. Like, why would you do that? Like, he's such a big name. Like, the biggest part, the number one thing everybody talks about when they talk about a CM Punk return is how loud the pop would be, right? Same with the Undisputed Era. It's like, I feel like these guys are so known at this point. Obviously, they've just been through NXT for the past 2.5 years to the point where, you can't bring them up to no reaction. That just look retarded. I myself stand by the fact that you shouldn't have brung Bianca Belair up to no crowd. Now, granted she's not the Undisputed Era, but it's like, I mean, clearly they're showing you what they think of her, so maybe the crowd reaction would have helped a little bit. She's been off TV for how long and for what reason?
Exactly. Now she's on Main Event, apparently. I learned that, too. Now she's literally...
Is she really?
She was on Main Event. I forgot who she faced, but she was on Main Event, man.
That's like when they put Ricochet and Cedric. Like, that's a 205 Live main event right there. Well, when 205 Live was kind of cool. When, like, Ali and Murphy and Cedric were all over there. Yeah, man, but... Dude, I mean... Undisputed... I don't want to see them come up, but, like, I kind of do, but, like, I kind of don't. Like, I'd like to see them come up in a Triple H vision, but, like, I just can't trust Vince. I just can't. Like, I don't know, I just can't. If you can't trust him with The Fiend, you can't trust him with if you couldn't trust him with the Nexus, 7 guys, you can't trust him with, I mean, look at what happened to SAnitY. That's all I have to say. Look at how he cares about factions from NXT.
Clearly doesn't.
She's in the main event with Superstars. Superstars is still a thing? That's my new favorite show. I remember there was like Saturday night main event, and then there was actual main event. Or no, Saturday morning slam or some shit. It's something like that.
God.
Back when it was like in 2012, I think. And then there's main event, just not Saturday night main event, just regular main event that they film with Raw. No way, Superstars is still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I thought they canceled it. I remember, Saturday Morning Slam, a garbage ass show. And wow, I did not know that. Well, learn something new every day. Fucking Christ. I wonder who's on there. Well, obviously Bianca Belair. That's fucking stupid. Honestly. Well, yeah. Well, those are the jobber shows. But anyway, those are shows where Bianca Belair, people like Ricochet and Cedric Alexander need to stay as far away from as possible. And now, Undisputed, do you want to see them be called up?
No.
No.
Just give you the simple answer at this point. No, man. Because Vince, I have no faith in Vince, none whatsoever. So no. To be honest, nah. I'd rather see them take that group somewhere else.
Whatever happened with Velveteen Dream? We'll get into that after I answer Nate. But yeah, do I want to see them called up? Honestly, bro, now that the OC's gone, like, who is there to fight? You know what I mean? And you can say the same thing for NXT, because, I mean, their tag division, ever since they started stripping people, like the War Raiders and Heavy Machinery and Street Profits for literally no reason, ever since they started stripping people like that, I mean, sure, it's not as great as it used to be. Clearly, AEW has the better tag team division, clearly. I mean, NXT... we're far removed from the days of the DIYs and American Alpha and Revival and AOP and fucking SAnitY and Undisputed. Knowing Vince, only strong and fish would be called up. Well, you know what, man? There was actually rumors, I want to say about like a year ago, that they were thinking about bringing just Adam Cole up.
Yeah, I remember
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, sure he's a star for the main roster, but you look back down at NXT, you're telling me that you're okay with a faction of just fucking Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong? What sense does that make?
His fucking ass. Remember how he was before the Undisputed? You ever want that to happen again? No, I didn't think so. Pre-Undisputed Roddy, of course he could wrestle, but goddamn, there was no character in the slightest.
The only thing he had to him was when he came down to the ring and opened up his jacket and just fucking screamed for no reason.
To no reaction.
Honestly, to crickets.
Like, bro. Literally to crickets.
But do I want to see them called up? Nah. I just don't trust him. In the comments says in the future, yes. Yeah, in the future, maybe if there's people to fight. I mean, dude, literally all there is I can see them fighting is fucking, there's New Day and Seth Rollins' group.
Yeah,
that's
they're not even a legit group. So
yeah, I mean that's still in the starting stages of that, and if that's gonna go anywhere, unless they just break it up like they usually fucking do, they're just break up everything for no reason. But yeah, man, do I want to see him called up? No.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact, I mean, after Adam Cole and all of them lose the titles, you can give them time off, sure. But what I see them doing is calling them up. Because after they lose that, I see them calling them up for sure. Do I want to see them be called up? No. I feel like I feel like these are guys you can give off building up to a takeover, maybe a little longer, just because they've went so hard for so long in that brand. You can give them some time off, and then when they come back, it'll be just like old times. You know what I mean? They have killed all the factions they had. Oh, of course, of course. Look at something they could have had with the Andrade's Selena Vega's group.
Yeah. Look what happened to that, bro. Like, it's sad. It really is.
Honestly, they were fucking jobbed out within like 2 weeks after Mania. Like, what? Now, Austin Theory fits better in the role he is in now, but like, what the fuck was the point of putting that group together then?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But, yeah, Undisputed, man. Undisputed, I don't want to see them called up. But do I think it's going to happen? For sure. As soon as they lose those championships, it's game over. It's game over for them. They are going up to the main roster. Has Angel Garza won a match? I couldn't even fucking tell you.
I don't know, man.
But going back a little bit in the comments, man, Nate asked us, I believe it was Nate, shit. Oh, yeah, it was Nate. Whatever happened with Velveteen's Dream? Understanding, I feel like they just kind of want to keep him under the radar as this shit either blows over or gets resolved.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, what do you think about that situation?
Just, this true or not. If it's true, then that's just fuck, man. Just what a waste of a career and potential huge future star. And when it's not, man, that's just a fucked up thing to do to such a young person with that can be such a future star, man. Either way, the situation is just so fucked, man. I hope it's not true, and I don't think it is. If I have my opinion on it, but we'll just know when facts truly roll in, man.
I'm not gonna watch it on SmackDown. I'm gonna watch AEW now. Oh, that's the way to go. Yeah, Raw, dude. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, man. There's literally only one thing I watch on each show. Maybe, well, Raw 2. Raw is 2 because I think Drew's doing a phenomenal job with the little he's being able to work with. And, obviously, if you guys don't know, I love Seth Rollins in this new role. I just love it. Like, his promos are, like, tip-top. I love it. Love his promos. I like I like him recruiting Austin Theory, man. But let me tell you this right now: 2 things out of a 3-hour show is not worth watching for.
No.
Because aside than that, what else is on this show? Charlotte, fucking Hunger Games with the fucking Street Profits and the War Raiders. And having these guys be golfers and eat turkey legs. What the fuck? Do you understand how badass these guys were in NXT? Do you understand? And this is the result. That might have to be a fantasy booking, man.
I have to, bro. Seriously.
I mean, what if the War Raiders were never fucking buried? I'll tell you what, they stayed in NXT.
Exactly.
Because there was no point, looking back, I mean, we knew it at the time, but even now, looking back, there was no point in having them relinquish the championships. For what?
No. Why?
After one defense? What?
Bro.
That to me, that was one of the most boneheaded decisions. Like, why did they lose? Why? Like, what were they going up for? They didn't even get. They didn't even go right after the championship. So they went up to fucking be in a sea of nothing for 9 months before they won championships. Have an underwhelming reign with them. No, that's fucking retarded.
That's not it, man.
Yeah, but back to the Velveteen Dream thing. I feel like they're keeping him under the radar. as of late, obviously, he's kind of in like this kind of mini but kind of big feud with the Undisputed and not Damian Priest, Dexter Lumis, and yeah, man. But honestly, AEW and SmackDown as well. The only thing I watch on SmackDown is for Bray, and clearly, if you guys have seen what that Backlash card's looking like, looks like we're gonna see the Fiend at Backlash, and it looks like we're going. We're not gonna see the Fiend at Backlash. We're probably gonna see him after the match. Obviously, it looks. We'll get to that on the Backlash predictions, bro. But it's in. What the hell is Backlash? I don't even fucking know. I honestly...
I couldn't tell you, bro.
Well, as I'm doing a quick Google search, if you guys don't know, just because I'll just say it now, just because I don't know how much longer until the show. But dude, Braun Strowman looks to be facing The Miz and John Morrison in a handicap match, so it looks like we're going to see Wyatt off of TV for this month, which there is absolutely no reason to watch SmackDown now. I mean, Bayley and Sasha's things kind of coming into their own, but again, if there's one thing in a 2-hour show does not make it worth watching. It just doesn't. And, okay, it's Sunday, June 14th, so we're looking at about, like, 2 more weeks, but, yeah, I mean, you know, so it looks like we're going to see The Fiend attack Braun after the match, and it looks like we're going to see The Fiend win the Universal Championship on his 1-year anniversary of when he debuted. Is Sheamus still burying jobbers? No, he lost to Jeff Hardy, so I'm not gonna say he's buried yet, but I don't know why they would put those two in a feud. What do you think about that, man?
That feud was just so underwhelming, where it just ended in the tournament. I think, didn't it? I think it was the tournament where it ended.
Well, they had a match, but nobody really knows if the feud's over yet.
Yeah. It's just underwhelming, man. That could be such a bigger feud.
Yeah, for sure. It could have been something for the IC Championship. Definitely for the IC Championship, considering there was the story of Sheamus wanting to be a Grand Slam champion, and there's just the story of Jeff Hardy coming back and Sheamus being bitter about that. It was a great mini feud, and to have it end in a tournament, which we'll see how it goes. Nobody really knows what they're gonna do yet, man, but this is the perfect example of this company booking themselves into a corner. And these guys, Sheamus has been built up. Jeff Hardy's obviously been built up through promo packages, so it's not really very fitting for either guy to lose. It's a perfect example of booking yourselves into a corner, man. And Nate asked, did Jeff use no more words? No.
No.
He is still coming out to the Hardy Boys theme song after he confirmed that No More Words is coming back on WWE The Bump.
Useless ass show.
Yeah, man, and I mean,
God.
What are you gonna do, man? Fucking, I don't know why they would have him say that, or I don't know if he went out on a limb and just said that on his own, or what, man. But I don't know why I don't know why they would have him say that, but they did, and it's complete fucking rhetoric. Yeah. So, without further ado, man, you wanna kick us off with the kickoff?
Alright, I got you, man. So we're starting with the Undisputed one.
Yes.
So my story starts off actually the same as it is right now, technically. So how I would book it is in your house. I don't know who he's facing, but or either just around this time he loses the NXT title, and are Undisputed tag team champs right now?
No, Imperium.
Make sure they're not. Okay. So yeah, he loses the NXT title. They started going on a little, like, not losing streak, but just losing momentum in NXT. And at the same time on the main roster, during like these summer months, KO starts to gain, he starts to win matches, and starts to gain traction, and he eventually gets a match at SummerSlam versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And he keeps saying that he has a plan, and at the same time, the Undisputed keep saying that they have a plan to regain their prophecy and whatnot. So, at SummerSlam, the match between between Drew McIntyre and KO happened. Drew McIntyre wins. They have, a competitive match, of course, and Drew offers to shake his hand, and KO shamefully shakes his hand, and he starts to leave. And as he's leaving, he gets basically to like the stage, still kind of on the ramp, and he looks back, and he gets a little smirk. That's when you hear the crowd pop, because that's how it would go. The camera pans, or like just switches back to the ring where you see McIntyre, and he's getting beat up by Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong. As they beat his ass, they start yelling like "Remember us," shit like that. And then it pans back to the stage where we see Adam Cole come out from a gorilla, get a Undisputed armband like out of his person and gives it to KO, where he puts it on. Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong are done beating Drew's ass. They walk up to the stage and they all do the pose, and they start kind of like celebrating. So Raw the next night, UE come out, or Undisputed, UE for short. Since I gotta say their name so many times in this fantasy booking, I'm just gonna say UE most of the time. But the UE come out and talk about how KO and them started this plan before he got the qualifying match to take over this this brand and this company. And they start talking shit about Drew, and they say how their prophecy is reborn just on a different stage. A couple of Raws later, weeks, Drew's back. He's back from getting his ass beat. Comes out and says that KO nor Cole or any of them can beat him legit. So they use these these structures and these tactics of multiple people because none of them can beat him one-on-one legit. Now Yui comes out and KO explains that just because we weren't built like it's the 80s, that doesn't mean we're not legit. We play the business like the people in the back. We don't care how we do it or who we affect doing it. We only want to get to the top, and this is our way of doing it. They talk more shit, and they beat up Drew again, and tell him that if he wants to win, he'll have to play the same game. A couple of Raws later, Yui come out again, and then Drew comes out and says that they're right. He's gonna need to play that other game for a little bit to beat them. He continues the promo, and he announces that at SummerSlam he's going to challenge them for a team-on-team match. He'll assemble a team to prove to UE that he could play the game better than they can. And they build that match, and he gets a team. Most of the other members don't matter. The only really member of Drew's team that matters is Buddy Murphy. So they built that match, and it gets to Survivor Series. The match happens, and at the end, it's just Adam Cole and Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre and Buddy Murphy. Murphy then attacks Drew and lets UE win. UE celebrate and give Murphy an armband, and they all celebrate and do the pose. Drew comes out, the next night, or, whatever, and, he says that he was outplayed in their game, like, as he would have probably betted. UE comes out and says, now that we beat you in your game, where's our title match? Drew says, as he looks at Cole and KO. Cole says, nice try, but we're not going to turn on each other like that. He says, come on, we're the most humble, egoless guys in this roster. Come on. Drew laughs and says, which one of you are going to try to step up to my title? Cole says, oh, come on, Drew. I mean, wait, fuck, I skipped the promo. Skipped the part of the promo. Um, Drew says, which one of you guys are gonna come up and try to steal my title? I missed that lie. Cole says, oh, come on, Drew. We're not thieves. We're just opportunists. Opportunist. Fuck. And you're the opportunity that slipped away. You know, referring back to their debut. So next week, oh, that's what Cole says. So next week, I'll play by your rules. I'll earn my title shot, even though I think we already did. In a couple weeks build, where all the UE, you know, they're all just winning some matches, some clean, some in their tactics, they're just getting up there. They're just getting up. They're all hungry for title shots and opportunities. You know, they start getting pissed. They get pissed and say they're gonna shock the system at the Royal Rumble. Gets to the Royal Rumble, and Buddy Murphy wins the US title in the Royal Rumble. And the Rumble match, you know, as a faction, we start eliminating people and doing, you know, what factions usually do in the Royal Rumble. And near the end, it is KO, Murphy, and a couple others. Murphy, due to the carelessness of Cole, gets eliminated. Wait, hold on. No, not Murphy. No, scratch that part. I didn't scratch that part out. Yeah, so Murphy's just not in that match. I don't know why I wrote that in. But, fuck. I wrote that before I rechanged it. So yeah, if that doesn't happen, it's just Cole, KO, and a couple other people. And KO, he's eliminating a lot of people, and then KO gets eliminated by the second to last guy, and then Adam Cole eliminates that guy, winning the Royal Rumble. And by the way, KO was the Iron Man for most of that match, so at the end he kind of just got screwed over. But he's not going to see it that way. So, on Raw, you know, Cole says, of course, that he wants Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania in the main event. He says KO will get his title shot one day when he finally beats Drew for that title. You know, Cole and Drew start to build their feud. Sorry. And KO is like Iron Manning just the whole time. He's just on, you know, the show every week, just wrestling, winning. He's like going crazy. The OG UE, like, you know, Roddy, Strong, and Fish, they're there, and they're talking, and they're, you know, being careless, like, towards Murphy. They're like, they don't care, not that they don't care, but they low-key don't care about him, you know? And eventually gets to Elimination Chamber. KO is in that Elimination Chamber, and he's the second to the last person. But in the middle of the match, you could say, he gets quote-unquote injured, and he loses the match. Now, I would have WWE play up the injury like super legit, like they make fake reports of him that he was supposed to win the match and everything like that, to make really people believe he just genuinely got injured. Cole starts talking about how they're almost completely draped in gold again, and now that he beat Drew, wait. Okay, now when he beats Drew, it will be the second coming of the prophecy will be complete. And at Mania, in a ladder match, this is not the main event, in the ladder match, Roddy actually wins the US title. Fish and O'Reilly retain their title. Wait, I think I forgot to tell you guys that they won it too. So they eventually won those titles, won the tag titles, and they at Mania with the help of the Usos, feuded since they won his shirts, because that's a Mark-ass shirt. Alright, so it gets to the main event, and in the main event, of course, it's Drew and Cole, and Drew beats Cole, and the show ending with the whole of the original of the OG draped in gold. But the other ones are with them celebrating too. Raw the next night, it is announced that in the main event, WWE will say that they have a big announcement to make. And before that, in the Raw show, it was planned, announced before that the UE would come out in the main event and talk. but of course they're not going to now because now WWE is making a huge announcement on the main event of Raw. And on that show, Papa Mark, Triple H, comes out and talks about how WWE needs to start taking these separate brands more seriously. And on that Saturday, that upcoming Saturday, there will be a draft on that Saturday. And then, they're going to start, the whole process of, basically 2016 again. So it gets to that draft on that Saturday. And the way it's set up like an actual draft, where they got, a stage, all the roster members are in the crowd, or in, seats, kind of like a crowd, shit like that. It's set up like that. And in the draft, the OGUE all stay on Raw, while KO, Murphy, and the Usos get sent to SmackDown. And you can see them all getting pissed. They go up to the stage, and they're going off. They say, they're pissed. They're like, you're just trying to separate us, blah blah blah. And they're like, but then they insist that, all right, now we could be a team and we could rule both brands. Now we could do shit like that. We could run shit both ways, both shows, and with. Fuck. Alright. Shut up. So, go. Shit. Alright. Alright, so that summer, that's all the summer feuds start for that show, for on these shows, and for SmackDown, with the support of, you could say the SmackDown UE, and SmackDown Undisputed, well, the members on SmackDown, with their help, or with their help and support, Buddy Murphy wins the IC title. Cole gets in a feud with a returning Seth for that summer, and it's a great feud. And I'm not going into detail into much feud, but too much of that feud. But that feud is just until Seth trying to get the rest of the Undisputed on his side to recruit him, because he's actually a heel, by the way, and that's their little storyline they have for that summer. But inevitably Seth loses that feud, and then also during that summer, Roddy keeps the US title the whole summer. He's just going on. He's making that title actually mean something. KO on SmackDown gets in a feud with The Fiend, and at SummerSlam, Cole defends his title against Seth Rollins, and then Roddy defends his, so do the tag teams. That's when the Usos win the tag team titles on SmackDown. Murphy retains, so does Roddy. And at the end of the show, then KO does beat The Fiend, whether it's through Undisputed, probably, I would say it's through the rest of the Undisputed. He beats The Fiend. I just thought that would be a cool match. And at the end, the entire, this 8-man UE just celebrate, they're celebrating because, they basically rule this company at this point. That's when, from behind, they're all celebrating. All the non-OG member walk backwards, not really, kind of back up behind everyone, and then they just start beating the original UE's ass. They just start just beating them around, dragging them around. They drag them basically to the ring, and they grab mics and then say that they didn't need them, they were just being used, that they're the better version of them, all that type of shit. All that type of shit. They're beating their ass, and just saying we're better than you. You were just using us to get up here and be something. Without all of us, you guys wouldn't be in this position right now. Shit like that. So the next Raw, Cole say that they needed, that KO and them needed them, that they were all lost in the shuffle, and that they gave them structure and purpose. And he says that they stole that structure and are trying to say that they, play that structure better, play the game better than them. Shit like that. Hold on. They say, yeah. And they build to Survivor Series, where it's going to be champ versus champ, and whatever champion loses, they must vacate that title, said title. And at SummerSlam, they get to SummerSlam, Fish and O'Reilly win, Roddy loses, and Adam Cole, and in the main event, Adam Cole wins. That their own, basically from that, that KO's UE starts to like not, trust each other clearly. After that, they, UE celebrate, and without Roddy for a second, and then Roddy comes up, but so does Murphy. And Murphy kept his title. He thinks that he's about to, join them. They're gonna kick Roddy out. He comes up. He's like looking at him like, come on, guys. He's looking at like a beat up bag of Roddy. And they look at him. They look at Roddy, and they just start beating Murphy's ass. And they tell Roddy they're brothers for life, shit like that. They're the UE. No one can touch them. Weeks after that, KO's Undisputed implodes. And it basically, after that, it just ends up, for SmackDown at least, it ends up that at Mania, it's Buddy Murphy versus KO for the IC title. And UE go off to do whatever, history will have them do, whatever faction come up, or like shit like that. So that's where my fantasy booking for the UE, for the Undisputed era, and there it was.
Wow. Oh, shit. My dog just crashed into something in the hallway. That was a loud noise. Okay.
God damn.
That was good. That was good. I like the UE Civil War.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you got?
Alright, man. We're all starting on our time frame now. Drew McIntyre wins the championship at WrestleMania 36. He then carries it through the summer, except this time we are going to be building him up against formidable opponents. Man, I don't know if I'd go as far to throw Aleister Black his way, but Seth, just not as quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give him Seth at well, first of all, Money in the Bank is supposed to be middle of the summer pay-per-view, not right after Mania. So probably at Money in the Bank if it's in the middle of the summer time frame. Backlash is supposed to be right after Mania, not Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank's one of the big five. So yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, just give him people that don't suck, like Bobby Lashley, Andrade, Seth. There's so many people on that brand. Aleister Black, obviously. I don't think I'd throw Black in his direction, but I would have one of the summer feuds be Seth versus Drew. Obviously, that is just greatness. Yeah, he carries it all the way to SummerSlam, man. He defends the championship in a blow-off against Seth, and obviously the ending of their feud, and he wins. And as Drew McIntyre is celebrating, he turns around and sees Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly in the back left corner of the apron. Now, they're standing there. Drew looks confused for a second, but then he starts to realize what happened to him 3 years ago at this point. It's this complete deja vu. Except, Drew McIntyre then gets hit with a jumping knee and a super kick combo by Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, and he is laid out to go off the air with Adam Cole holding the WWE Championship. Deja vu once again, 3 years later. Same exact things happens to Drew. SummerSlam weekend, just laid out by the UE. Now, the next night, the UE are confronted and challenged by Drew McIntyre. They obviously have the show opening promo front and center, just letting everybody know who they are, why they're here, explain their actions last night, obviously, and also, later in that post-SummerSlam Raw, they attack the Tag Team Champions and the U.S. Champions, similar to the exact same way they debuted at TakeOver. So, obviously just staking their claim, pretty much. yeah, man, and they attacked them. Now we are building to Night of Champions, man, and I was about to say Kyle Fish. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish win the tag team championships from the War Raiders, who are being built very well, in my booking, obviously.
Hmm.
And Roddy wins the United States Championship from Ricochet. Sound familiar? Think of those two opponents. Remember War Games? Um, they win. And Roddy wins the United States Championship from Ricochet. Now, Night of Champions. Also, we see Drew McIntyre versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole does not win this match. Well, kind of. Well, okay. So this match ends with the ref by Drew McIntyre because of a sidestep from Adam Cole, and the UE come down, surround the ring, but before they can hit Drew, Drew's quick enough to grab a steel chair and start beating the shit out of all of them. And out of frustration, Drew does not have the referee in his sights, whacks Adam Cole in the head with the chair out of frustration, and Drew turns around to see that the ref is now standing and just seen him smack Adam Cole with the chair out of frustration, obviously because these guys always seem to have the one up on him, and Drew, in all honesty, never really got payback on the Undisputed Era. And this is the culmination of his frustration just ultimately getting to him, and he smacks Adam Cole with a chair just to turn around and find that the ref wasn't fully up yet, but he was looking and he is conscious and he's seen him smack Adam Cole in the head with a chair, and Adam Cole wins the match. However, Adam Cole does not win the WWE Championship, so Drew declares another match at next month's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view inside the Hell in a Cell match to keep the frustrations of the Undisputed Era out of the match. And in this match, Drew just can't seem to get the one up on the Undisputed Era, and Adam Cole wins the WWE Championship. Thus, this group now is quote-unquote dripping in gold. Now, this leads to the Survivor Series match. We're not going to be doing the brand versus brand here. We're just, in this booking, we're just going to use this as a regular big show. This leads to the Undisputed Era versus Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and the War Raiders at Survivor Series. This is basically just like War Games, except instead of Drew McIntyre, or instead of Pete Dunne, it's Drew McIntyre. Obviously, the Undisputed Era win this match, and yeah, just making them seem as dominant as possible. And yeah, man. Now this leads to at the Royal Rumble. So the reason we're doing this at the Royal Rumble is because this opens up more spots. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is a card where basically the only matches that are able to get a spot are the World Championships. Usually, it's like one women's match, two women's matches, and maybe an IC title match, maybe. But the way we're doing this, it is actually pretty much opening up for more of the other championships. Like, dude, I don't. I believe it was 2018 the last time I remember tag team championships being defended on a Royal Rumble card. I believe it was Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, man. So at that pay-per-view, we are going to be doing a 4-man winner-take-all match between the Undisputed Era and Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and the War Raiders, because obviously they are all baby faces and they're teaming together. It doesn't have to mean they're friends and they're buddies and they're tagging together every week, but they have a common purpose. They all want their championships back, obviously. And before I get into this match, let me just get one last guy in here. Okay, here we go. I have a hard time multitasking. Okay. Okay. Now, the UE, obviously, we're just going to play on their strengths here, being that they are a faction, and we are going to just have them, we are going to have them dominate most of this match only because of the fact that they are a faction in they are an actual faction, and they are not a makeshift faction, or you know what I mean. Just these guys have the chemistry and whatnot, and yeah. So these guys obviously have the chemistry here, and they are just whooping up on them for the most part. Obviously, we're not going to make these other guys look weak, but the Undisputed just have that chemistry, man. And as Adam Cole is about to hit the last shot, he does the gun, and he flicks his thumb down, and as soon as he does that, the lights go out. And they come back on to see a OC led by Finn Balor staring them right in the face. And Finn Balor is standing there doing the exact same thing Adam Cole just was with the two guns. And as soon as he flicks his thumbs down, they just attack. And they beat the shit out of the Undisputed Era. And not only that, but just with the future in mind, we're going to have them beat the hell out of the other people too, just wrecking Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and the War Raiders. And Finn Balor hits Adam Cole with the Bloody Sunday, and he takes Drew McIntyre's dead body and dumps it over Adam Cole and commands the ref to count 1, 2, 3. The Undisputed Era lose, but keeping them looking strong. Next night on Raw, front and center, the OC are there, led by Finn Balor, obviously, and this new look, because his new look is just wonderful. Love the new look. The Prince, obviously, and instead of their whole samurai, we're going to to have them be declared as the Balor Club, not the OC. Because that just seems a little stupid. Especially, I could see if AJ was leading it to call him the OC, but with Balor leading it, I feel like it would have to be called the Balor Club, obviously, with their new X logo and stuff. Balor says on the mic the next night, you can have him and AJ kind of bounce off each other on the promos, obviously, because both of them can speak and very well, especially in the heel role, and have Finn Balor say, ever since he's came back from his injury, he's heard about Undisputed Era, and he just him and his boys just don't believe the hype, and they're here because the reason they came together last night at the Royal Rumble was for a common goal, because their group is often slept on. Obviously, he wouldn't put it like that, but their group is often nobody really has seen the club as a threat, so we're gonna have Finn Balor be there to kind of resurge the group. And they don't believe the Undisputed Era's hype, and they know they've been across the world together. They've been in Japan, they've been in various promotions together, and the Undisputed Era just Finn Balor says they're good, but they're just not them, pretty much. They challenge the Undisputed Era challenged the Balor Club to a match at WrestleMania. Obviously, that is what we're building to, man. And at WrestleMania, the Undisputed Era win. Now, after this, you can't keep these guys together. After the match, we're going to have a little stare down of respect, stare down of Okay, you guys are really about all the hype that people say, and we are going to have a little stare down of respect. We can't keep these guys together, so obviously we are going to be implementing a draft after WrestleMania, where it should be, and not in the middle of October. And these two groups obviously can, Undisputed Era, I would have them stay on Raw just to claim dominance, I guess, just because they won at Mania. But it could really go either way. You can look at it as if they own that show, or you can look at it as a fresh start on the other show. But I'm going to keep them on Raw. We're going to send the OC to SmackDown just because AJ Styles and Finn Balor just look way better on SmackDown. Raw just... AJ, I don't know what... I was watching AJ on SmackDown. He just looks better on SmackDown. I don't know if you feel the same way, man, but he just looks better on SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
SmackDown guy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that I like about him on SmackDown so much, but he just looks so much better on SmackDown. Like on Raw, he just looks like another dude. I don't know. It's a weird thing I have, but I don't know. AJ just looks way better on SmackDown. The Undisputed Era win at WrestleMania, and we have a stare down of respect, obviously, and then after that, we can't keep these two factions together, so we're going to split them their separate ways. That way, the OC don't look like they have, or the Balor Club don't look like they have this kryptonite in the Undisputed Era, and they can go on to a fresh start and rejuvenate themselves, and even be pissed off that they lost, and just go and dominate SmackDown. And after that, man, the UE, they dominate the summer, and they begin their new chases for the championships, which they eventually do. And that would be my way to see. The problem is with the main roster is they don't know how to keep somebody fresh. So this is my way to introduce the Undisputed, not through squash matches, but by instantly making an impact. Because look at a guy like Sheamus. You know what I mean? He's been in WWE for how long? 12 years, and he's doing squash matches to prove himself. Like, dude, we know Sheamus. He's proven he's a guy that can instantly make an impact, and somebody that, I mean, he's Irish, so we all know odds are he can beat the shit out of somebody in real life, you know what I mean? So why is he just attacking little jobbers to make himself look good? So that's my problem here with that's my problem here with the main roster, rather, is they don't know how to introduce somebody and keep them fresh. Like through this storyline, like, we're going to show how important factions are. Like Finn Balor wanted to make an impact for his faction so bad, he went as far to cost the OC their the Undisputed their championships, and it doesn't, and the way I booked it, it doesn't make the Undisputed look weak. They were, like I said, they have the chemistry, because they're an actual faction, and they, and they just lost because, I mean, like I said, Adam Cole's just about to hit the final last shot, and it ended up being the Undisputed's last shot. You know what I mean? And we're just going to bring back the element of faction warfare and understand the importance of the dominance of the two groups. And the Undisputed proved that, even though they were more dominant, but then that opens up a fresh start for the Balor Club on a different show, where they can thrive more, being that the Undisputed is on Raw, and they are the dominant faction on that show. And yeah, I mean, that basically from here on out, there's so many people. Depending on where a draft goes, you can have the Undisputed face Seth Rollins and Murphy. In theory, you can have them face Almas and Garza. There's just an endless amount of people for the Undisputed. obviously there's always Drew, and I mean, there's just so many people. Aleister Black, fucking, I was gonna say AJ, but he's with the OC. But then there's also people you can bring up. There's the Matt Riddles, the Pete Dunnes, shit like that. You know what I mean? And the thing is they don't know how to. First of all, they don't know how to book, like a debut on the main roster, because it's always just playing vignettes and they're in squash matches for 3 months. But what I'm doing here is establishing their dominance first, establish that they can hold all the championships, but if it wasn't for the OC, they would still be the champions. And just because of faction warfare, which we're bringing back for the storyline, obviously it's a huge dream match as well. We are going to just be establishing the importance of faction and a dominance in a group, and then after that, I mean, you just start the build up again. You know what I mean? And these guys don't even always have to be in something like this. These guys can go off and face a bigger guy like Braun Strowman and things like that. You know what I mean? They don't always have to be in the championship race, but what I'm saying is what we're trying to do is keep them relevant. You know what I mean? Just establish a group that it's so incredibly hard for people to beat, and when they are beat, it doesn't come often, but when it does, it's like it's in the making of another star, you know? So that's what I got, man. That's what I got.
That's some great shit, man. I really like that. I like the Balor Club versus the UE. That shit's awesome. That's definitely a dream feud.
Yeah, well, what I'm obviously with the CV19, we are anticipating that Gallows and Anderson are not released, so that was why we did this. Obviously, same with you, how you booked Crowd Pops, because I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat I am. You can't really have the Undisputed debut in front of crickets.
No.
Literally crickets, because there's nobody in the crowd. And
Then I got those idiots.
oh, I know. Now that are just, JD said it perfectly. Have you ever watched the WWE video games where like people do the same exact thing at the same time? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's, yeah, man. But obviously, but one of the other things I was thinking, man, is the Shield, obviously, but that first of all, that is a 3-man group, and Ambrose was not released because of a pandemic, so he just went out on his own 2 feet. So the next best thing, man, is the OC for sure, and obviously that's definitely a possibility, assuming that this doesn't happen, because if this didn't happen, Gallows and Anderson signed like 5-year deals. So yeah, there's definitely a possibility, man, and I'll never forget the moment on NXT when Finn Balor confronted AJ Styles and he pointed the guns at him. That dude, when AJ came after, I believe it was Ciampa, or it might have been the Undisputed Era, that was one of the things I was kind of hoping we would have been able to see for War Games. I was hoping we would have been able to see 4-on-4-on-4, maybe, with the Balor Club or the OC, whatever you want to call them, versus the Undisputed Era versus the group we actually got, which was Owens, Ciampa, Lee, and Dijak, or Ciampa, Lee, Dijak, and Riddle, which was the original group. Yeah, and I was hoping we would have got to see that, but the War Games match we did get was fantastic anyway. So, yeah, man. But without further ado, thank you. You as well. And moving on to SAnitY. Before Sir Kate kicks his off, let me just refresh all of your memories on what happened to SAnitY. We are going to rebooking what was the tragedy of SAnitY on the main roster. Christ. Wow. What a failed ass faction. This is what I'm afraid is going to happen to the Undisputed Era if they get called up, man. So, basically, after WrestleMania 34, we got the shake-up. After that phenomenal ladder match that Killian Dane participated in, we got the Superstar Shakeup 2 weeks after Mania, saying that SAnitY were going to be called up on SmackDown. However, in April, I believe we did not see SAnitY until July. So they were being teased for 2 months. That's your first mistake. This is a chaotic faction just sitting at home, not chomping at the bits to just to destroy the SmackDown roster. That doesn't make any sense. First of all, that's your original fuck up. And second off, man, what was with them not bringing up NXT? I understand you don't want to make them look like developmental talents, but you are taking, like, I could see if they didn't win the NXT, I could see if they didn't win the championships, but they did. And not only that, Killian Dane competed in so many phenomenal matches. I mean, you remember how big of a mark I was for Killian Dane, and fucking that Fatal 4-Way, the last Fatal 4-Way on NXT, I believe it was Lars, Johnny, I think it was almost, no, he was the NXT champion, Alistair and Killian Dane. Fantastic match. He had spots at TakeOver Philadelphia, that suicide dive spot, just to make me mark out. There was a match, it was like, I believe it was SAnitY versus, I think it was SAnitY versus, I don't know, but do you remember that street fight in NXT? It was SAnitY and Dane jumped off the stage again.
Oh yeah,
I forget who it was against. I think it was against, like, it might have been against the Undisputed Era.
I think
it might have been. Dane competed in the War Games match. Those kind of things you just can't take away from somebody, because those accomplishments are memories that are going to live with us and him forever. So there's no point in stripping those from him. That'd be like Roman coming back and being like, oh my god, who's this guy from Pensacola, Florida? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to mention that the guy main evented 4 WrestleManias? Now, granted, he shouldn't have. That's not what I'm getting at. The point that I'm getting at is those are huge accomplishments that you just can't take away from a performer.
Exactly.
That'd be like John Cena, like, oh, look at this bodybuilder from West Newbury, Massachusetts. Now, I'm not comparing Killian Dane to John Cena, but you just can't take accomplishments like that away from, or that'd be like Undisputed, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my god, who are these 4 men that we've never seen before? Like, no, this is the Undisputed Era, you know what I mean? Like, it's SAnitY. Yeah, but, and what were your thoughts on that, bro? I know you probably got a take on this.
I feel it's just disrespectful to all they did, all the great things they did in fucking NXT, man. It's like, it's so stupid to not bring it up. Like, their logic is so dumb. No one's gonna think, oh, they're from developmental. No, they're like, oh shit, these guys are from NXT. Marks. Like, bro, only the 5-year-olds will maybe say that. But they don't, most 5-year-olds don't even know what NXT is. So they'll think, oh, new people. Most people wouldn't think developmental, they would just think new people. But just say all they did, bro. Their championship runs. The fact that they were in War Games, bro. Those chaotic fucking psychos were in War Games. Come on. Couldn't at least bring that up. It's tragic. And
the thing too that hurts the most is Killian Dane was the most talked about part of that War Games match. Seriously. With the coast to coast, he swallowed the key. Just the MVP of that War Games genuinely was SAnitY, dude. They just honestly killed themselves in that match. And have you ever seen a call up? Has anybody looked at Aleister Black or War Raiders and said, these guys aren't too badass, they're just developmental talents? No. If anybody
No,
anybody thinks it's just like, oh, these guys are from NXT, or like you said, it's just new people that we've never seen before. If they don't watch NXT, just new people. Oh, look at this guy. He's got a giant ass tattoo of a devil on his back. He's pretty cool. Look at these guys. They're just four. Fucking, you know, like it's cool. Like every faction doesn't have to be just four normal dudes to be cool. You know what I mean?
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and yeah, but I think I don't know, man. So basically after that, these guys would be put into a. You know what? I'm gonna pull the post up because I remember being excited about it. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
The post. These guys, after coming to the main roster, were put in a feud with the New Day. Now I remember posting about this, and I'm just going to look back and see. My thoughts and versus how everything turned out. Okay, here we are. Another SAnitY. This is what I said. This was April 18th, 2018. Another SAnitY dream match for me. SAnitY versus the New Day. Can't wait till SAnitY debuts. I hope they do right by them, I swear. They were immediately put into a feud with the New Day. And would you like to guess where... I believe it was their match happened at? Well... It was the Extreme Rules kickoff show. That's how you make somebody special? In a tables match. Now, granted, SAnitY won, but nobody fucking saw it. And these guys, man, dude, again, is this how you make somebody special? By having them win in a tables match in the kickoff show? Now that's a great win when people see it.
Oh, fucking pre-show.
And another thing, it's on the kickoff show. I can assure you, nobody wants to hear Charlie Caruso and Sam Roberts and Peter Rosengoon talk for 50 minutes while you give the one kickoff show match 8 minutes. I can assure you, you could have given them 20 minutes because I can guarantee you, I don't remember that pay-per-view, but I can guarantee you, you did not fill up an hour of talking time talking about Extreme Rules 2018. I believe that was one of the worst, oh no, that was 2017. I don't even remember Extreme Rules 20, oh yeah. That one had like Styles and Rusev. That's all I remember. I'm surprised I even remember that. Like, again, way to do right by somebody. Yeah. And after that, man, actually, that's about it. To sum it up, they put Dane in a singlet. They took away his weight belt. Or his little weight belt with like the feathers hanging off of it, which was just completely fucking just so cool.
I know, that was awesome, bro.
And that's not even the worst thing, because the worst thing was just about to come, man. They were taken off television for no reason. And shortly after that, man, they were disbanded. They were all drafted. The next year, Eric Young, 2019, was it 2019? Yeah, 2019 Superstar Shakeup. Eric Young was drafted to Raw, and Alexander Wolf went back down to NXT, and they sent Dane home. I believe he said something on Twitter, if I can remember correctly, that pissed them off, and they sent him home. As to where Nikki Cross was... Nicole Cross. I don't remember if she was... I think she stayed on SmackDown, but I think she was taken off television.
Oh, I remember. She was switched to SmackDown, because remember, she was put on Raw. They never... SAnitY didn't get called up with, Nikki, remember? They split them up from the beginning?
Oh, shit! They did!
for some fucking reason.
And that was another dumbass decision.
Like, bro, what? She was the second coolest one in that group, bro, besides Dane. What the fuck, bro? And you're just gonna split? Oh, that just made. And bro, her and Dane, I think were even married at that time, bro.
Well, they weren't married yet, but they've been together since 2009, so they were dating.
Legit, everyone backstage knew that apparently. Like, bro, multiple reasons why you shouldn't have done that.
Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, oh, what were you saying?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, why would they do that again? What were you saying?
Sure. And in the shakeup, they just switched her to SmackDown, and
By then, I think SAnitY was done already. I think.
I think, yeah.
And again, why would you not call them up with Nikki Cross? That's like Adam Cole not coming up with the Undisputed Era. Like, what a dumb fucking ass decision. That was from the get-go was like, okay, this isn't gonna. I can tell how this is gonna. And I think they said that them coming up with a girl is gonna make them look weaker or something like that. I believe it was a reason why they didn't, or they just didn't like Nikki with the group. Like, that was one of the coolest aspects of it. We've never really seen anything like that.
Seriously. Just
a group of... Right, yeah, a group of psycho-ass dudes with a psycho-ass chick, man, but... And SAnitY, man, genuinely one of the biggest missed opportunities. It's definitely top 5. Definitely up there with the Robert Roods and the Shinsuke Nakamura's, man. But yeah, whenever you're ready, bro. Whenever you're ready, man.
Alrighty, I got you. So, his booking starts off back in 2018, back around the time that they were, debuting. So, it starts with a vignette. Now, in that vignette, it's like just creepy shots of shit, and then a voice, like a kind of like not disturbing, but like just a mysterious, you could say, voice is saying that his non-believers in SAnitY will soon reign chaos on SmackDown Live. Yeah, SmackDown Live.
On SmackDown
Now later
Live.
SmackDown Live. But yeah, after that there's one, maybe two, one, maybe two vignettes in total, but it just leads to, at Backlash, the Bludgeon Brothers, they were a thing at the time, they were the tag team champs at the time, at Backlash, they defend their titles, and after that match, spotlight goes down in the ring, and it's on, both of them, and it pans around to the apron where you just see SAnitY standing there, all of them, a couple extra ones in mask. They're all in the face mask, and there's a couple extra ones in like full face mask. So,
I'm sorry, but that's badass.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about
that's
that.
A great
That shit's
visual.
Cool. Swear, and then it pans back to Bludgeon Brothers, and then spotlight pans back to them. Hold on, just make sure. Oh yeah, and then they beat up Bludgeon Brothers, put bags over their head, and then the light goes out. The lights go out. So later in that show, in the main event, AJ Styles is defending his title, because he was champ at that time too. Now he wins, normal shit. And after his match, same thing happens with the spotlight, but now there's also a hooded figure in like the middle of them on the apron. And now SAnitY, or like the group of SAnitY, attacks AJ, picks up the WWE Championship, and like kind of like not points at it, but like basically like shows it to the hooded figure. The hooded figure nods and grabs it. He like looks at it for a minute, throws it back to AJ. Lights go out. That's the end of Backlash. On SmackDown, AJ comes out and he says how he doesn't know who or what that was, And he starts talking, and then SAnitY, and its masked members come out to, music, and, the spotlight now. Alan said that instead of spotlight just being on their Tron, it's like actual, like, wait, it was always like that. Never mind, I'm stupid as hell. I forgot that. Haven't seen an entrance sadly in forever. I forgot that was part of their actual entrance. But yeah, that no normal spotlight thing happens with their entrance. But the fully masked members are like off to the side, kind of. They're not fully in the center of the spotlight. They're like on the edge of it, just like a little detail. And then, um, yeah, and then Titantron comes on, showing us, more like creepy, like little pictures, and then it pans to like what looks like a creepy, broken down, like abandoned, like asylum or prison, like just something like that. Cuts the inside. There's like how it's set up is that there's like a bunch of seats, and there's like a talking like pedestal in the middle, and if you would notice, like the seats are all arranged to make the chaos symbol, just like a little detail. But in the middle, there's like a podium, you could say, that like looks all around in the 360 seats, and there's the hooded figure there. And like the camera pans up to him, and he says, "I understand. Oh, wait. I understand you people have a lot of questions. They will all be answered soon. But until then, our chaos will reign. In our chaos will ensue." And then we see Harper. Another detail. We also see Harper and Rowan with, they still got the bags over their heads, and their titles are just in front of them, just like on the ground in front of this person. A few weeks later, spotlight happens again, and we see in the ring Rowan and Harper got the bags on their head, and the masked people are all there, including SAnitY. And then, the hooded figure has a mic, and he says that he's gonna make a deal with you guys, to Harper and Rowan. So they get their masks taken off their head, and he says if you sign this contract for SAnitY to have a title match with them, they will be let go. No, wait. Just okay, yeah, yeah. So they sign it, and the spotlight goes out, and they're all gone. It's just them in the ring. And a week before Extreme Rules, another little you could say video of it, not a vignette, but like kind of like how the Hardy Compound thing had, where it was just like they talked on like
Yeah.
Titantron like that. So the show before, he wait, he says a masked figure will accompany Killian Dane, Two-Face, Bludgeon Brothers for the uh, SmackDown Tag Team Championships at Extreme Rules. And we see the other dude that's gonna be tagging with Dane, and he's a fully masked man, but he's bigger. He's around the size of Dane. And it gets to Extreme Rules, they do their entrance, and in the spotlight, their entrance a little different now. They're all there, and then the big masked figure comes out with Dane, and then they both, with the spotlight on them, walk towards the ring. And the match, Bludgeon Brothers didn't come out, their cool ass entrance, because they had a cool ass entrance. They come out, and the match happens, and Dane and this mysterious figure win the match. But wait, yeah, they win the match. You know, lights go out, spotlight, math. Wait, hold on. Yeah, hooded guy is there, and now they win the tag titles, so they both bow to the hooded guy. He nods at them and takes off the other dude's mask, revealing. Wait. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up big. It wasn't Dane. It was two other masked men, not a big one, and those masked men were revealed to be EY, Eric Young, and Wolf. I fucked up majorly with that one. Okay, so it wasn't a large, hooded guy or masked guy, Dane. It was EY and Wolf. They won the tag titles, and of course they show it to the win. To the wait, well, I did not turn the page. So that happens, and then SAnitY kidnapped the Bludgeon Brothers again. After that, now on SmackDown, they offer them guidance. They like drag them to the ring again, and they offer them guidance. And they say deep down, you know you want to feel at home again. And then they have no other option but to accept. They get accepted, and they get these masks to put on, and told that one day they'll be able to earn the right to show their face again. Because that's the thing with this group, all the masked men are like, they gotta prove their worthiness to show their face. So, and at the same time, at SummerSlam, Daniel Bryan wins the WWE title at SummerSlam against AJ Styles. And then, a little bit after SummerSlam, SAnitY the hooded guy, talks to Daniel Bryan, they're like the Tron, and sometimes, in person, try to get them to join. And he says that his old family is at home, or is home now, and he knows deep down that you want to be home too. Daniel Bryan keeps rejecting that idea, he's not with it. The hooded guy sends Luke Harper and Eric Rowan to get rid of the problem. Either beat them or get them to join to earn their rights to not wear the mask. Now at whatever pay-per-view was before, I was looking at that 2018 schedule, bro, and besides like a Hell in a Cell, I don't think there was any actual pay-per-views between Survivor Series and SummerSlam that weren't like a Saudi pay-per-view or like some special. Yeah, there was like maybe one, and I think it was just like No, it wasn't Battleground. I think it was some really just bad. I think. Oh no, it was Evolution. Yeah, it was just Saudi show and Evolution between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. So I'm just adding. Let's replace the Saudi show with a fucking regular pay-per-view, because nobody wants to do this at a Saudi show. So at this regular pay-per-view, in between SummerSlam and, before SummerSlam, it is Rowan versus Daniel Bryan. And in the match, Daniel Bryan wins, he beats Rowan, and then Rowan, just has enough, he rips off the mask, and, he says he's done playing these games. He said he played these games before, and look what happened. They didn't work out then, they're not going to work out now. And then just leave, they're with them, or they're, agreeing with each other. So next week, or a couple weeks later, DB and Rowan, or Daniel Bryan, come out to say that they have enough of SAnitY. They want them in a Survivor Series match, 2v2. Hooded guy agrees on the Tron eventually, and says that now it's Dane and the big masked figure will face them at Survivor Series. So at Survivor Series, the match happens, and SAnitY win. And the rest, of them come out for like the little ceremony of unmasking the masked dude. So, masked dude kneels with Dane, and he's revealed as Lars Sullivan. Mitch. I tried to not think of Mitch Bennett as hard as I wrote this, bro. And at the time, we didn't know about Mitch Bennett, so I'm gonna just keep it in that. At the time, we did not know about Mitch Bennett, because, oh god, Mitch Bennett, man. Because now that's all I think about when I hear this. But, and a couple weeks later, Rowan and Daniel Bryan start talking about how how they start talking, not shit, but just like talking about concern, and just, talking about Luke Harper and how he doesn't want to earn his rights, like he's not going to step up. And then eventually it gets to a segment where, they got Luke Harper, hooded guy has Luke Harper, and kneeling on with his mask on, and he's talking to them. And, they get saying the same shit, like, you want to earn your rights and step up and face us and prove us right. And hooded guy says he already earned his rights, as they take off the dude's mask, revealing some random dude. And then the hooded guy says he earned it a long time ago, as he undoes his hood and is revealed that this masked new leader of SAnitY is Luke Harper, bro. So Harper says to DP that he wants his title and that SAnitY will claim it for themselves. And then that show, goes off air.
Oh.
And eventually, a little bit after that, Eric Young and Wolf lose the tag team titles. By the way, this is all after Survivor Series, in between Royal Rumble. So, EY and Wolf lose the titles. Harper says that now they're starting to be dead weight to SAnitY, and they got to prove their worth. And then Eric Young gets pissed. He gets mad at Harper, and he says, "Just I created this group. You're just taking it over, all that type of shit." So Harper says, "All right, let's fight for the rights of leadership in a match." So next week on SmackDown, they have a match for leadership over SAnitY, and Harper just wins clean. He's a big dude. He just beats his ass. He wins clean. EY and Wolf are now just out. They just start beating them up. They're out of the group now. Well, they're out of the group clearly. So it gets to Royal Rumble, and in the Royal Rumble match, normal faction helping for Luke Harper because he's in that match, and he wins the Royal Rumble match. Challenges Bryan at WrestleMania, as you do, and they build the feud, and and during the feud, it's just basically Harper just mentioning shit about how he left them, he betrayed us, and shit like that. He talks about how that after his cult, and he says this how he says after his cult with the guy that just didn't listen to those voices in his head ended, he had an idea. He learned he could guide people the same way, not by listening to some mentor, some creepy mentor, by using his tactics, his intelligence, and his influence to create a structure to rule this company with. And he says he'll get the moment at WrestleMania that he should have had 2 years ago. That was 2019, shit like that, what I'm saying. So, and at the Women's Chamber, let's say, cut to Elimination Chamber, and at the Women's Chamber, Nikki Cross wins that Elimination Chamber, earning, her right to, fully show her face all the time, and, of course, championship match at Mania. We get to Mania, and Cross wins that title. Dane and Lars win the tag team titles, and then it gets to the main event, and Harper wins clean, and gets his big moment, and wins the WWE Championship, and his SAnitY is just, his SAnitY is just thriving. SAnitY go on, I say if they need another mid-card guy, I would actually dig a little bit down the line in their storyline. I would dig Dexter Lumis as a cool mid-card guy for SAnitY. I dig that idea. I just thought of it, thought he'd be a cool member. So eventually they might have him. But yeah, they just go on, have more feuds develop into the cult ness more. Just shit like that, man, and that is the end of my SAnitY fantasy booking. Boom.
Wow. I like the swerve. Luke Harper.
Thank you.
And Mitch. Resurfaces.
Oh yeah, bro. I was thinking of some cool members for that group. And I didn't want to make it too big because originally I was writing this. I was adding the Ascension in and shit. But I felt like the group was getting too big. I had the 4 or 5 people it should have. So I wanted to keep that, and to be honest, I needed to get Wolf out so he could eventually go in Imperium. And EY, he's just not it for that group. Now that you really think about it, he's not a leader. He's the worst member of that group of SAnitY. So eventually, I would think he would have to go. So that's how I would book it.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. What do you got?
Man, I hate to get off topic. I really fucking do.
No,
But I just came across this tweet.
that's good. Oh God. Oh.
It has to be said, Dean Ambrose is equal to John Moxley.
No.
What?
God. What?
What? Do you understand how bad and boring? Do you remember Dean Ambrose suicide dive?
Oh my God. Dean Ambrose was the most boring person on that fucking roster.
I fucking hated him, bro. Other than his promos that were decent. Not his heel promos.
Was bad.
So fucking awful.
He even admitted it. He didn't give a fuck at that time. He was just doing shit because he had to do it, bro. Dean Ambrose was ass.
Yikes. Yikes. What is wrong with these fucking people on Twitter? Jesus Christ.
Seriously, man. God.
Anyway, man. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. After WrestleMania 34, Bray Wyatt, who did not make the card, we're keeping that as is, cuts a promo and he says that he has found a new family to give him resurgence and to keep his sanity together. But he doesn't say that because it's too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Later that night, there's a vignette. Not a vignette, but live footage filming backstage, and wherever arena they're in, it is fucked up, Nexus style. Shit's on the ground. The backstage interview thing is, the curtains are completely torn up, and the TV's broken. You know what I'm saying? Just fucked up. The cars, windows are bashed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all leading to reveal Bray Wyatt and hooded figures standing behind him. But the hooded figures are turned around. And as the figures turn around, it's revealed. Night after WrestleMania, SmackDown after WrestleMania, Wyatt, who is not drafted to SmackDown in 2017 because that was the worst draft move ever in the modern era. Putting Wyatt on Raw, just no good for anybody involved. And it is revealed that people, when they turn around, it is SAnitY, man. And they are there on SmackDown. There is multiple superstars just beaten up. And Wyatt starts laughing, and so do they. And, yeah, and, okay. Wyatt reveals to be the leader of SAnitY. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when SAnitY was first, a couple months before they actually got called up on the main roster, there was rumors that Bray Wyatt, there was plans, actually, not rumors, there was plans to bring SAnitY up, led by Bray Wyatt. And it's something interesting to think about, man. Bray Wyatt, man, something for the group to do other than job. Yeah, man, and Wyatt and SAnitY run roughshod over the roster in the summer. Now, that SmackDown roster in 2018 had so many people, and there's so many things they could have done, man. They could have, I believe Kalisto, Apollo Crews, just like some starter people, just like some people, not to feud with, but just people to beat up. Just the kind of people to beat up that it's not really going to turn into a feud, and it's not like it's going to do anything for those kind of people because they're already beaten up enough. Okay. This is all leading to a tag team championship match at SummerSlam. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention, I just told you how Bray Wyatt was laughing when they beat everybody up. SAnitY wasn't. SAnitY was not laughing. They just kind of look like they're there. They're kind of giving Wyatt the side eye. The This is all building to a tag team championship match at SummerSlam. SAnitY win the tag team championships, and while Wyatt's celebrating, SAnitY are laughing, and they start to beat up Bray Wyatt. They ran through the summer with Bray to get the tag team championships. They say the next SmackDown, they use Bray Wyatt to get an opportunity, and now they're champions, and they use Bray to get their foot in the door to come to SmackDown because Bray was the only one willing to give them a chance, but they don't need chances because they can just take it. All they needed was Bray to get their foot in the door and to let people know who they are, pretty much. Now, Wyatt, who was beaten lifeless at SummerSlam, is off TV for about 2 to 3 weeks, and when he comes back, he is pissed off at Killian Dane. Those two have a feud over the coming months, building the Survivor Series, and although Wyatt comes close, Jesus, I keep yawning. Although Wyatt comes close, the numbers advantage keep Bray Wyatt from winning against Killian Dane, man. Wyatt and Dane are inside Hell in a Cell, and they didn't build the Survivor Series, it built a Hell in a Cell. These guys have a match inside the cell, ending with Killian Dane winning because SAnitY enters the cell and take out the ref guarding the door. Obviously, there's usually a ref that controls the padlock. SAnitY, I'd have a cool spot where SAnitY ripped the padlock off and open the door. They get in and attack Wyatt, just making him their number one enemy, because what I'm trying to do here is basically establish them using Wyatt and establish them as just these careless, chaotic guys that just needed an opportunity, and Bray Wyatt was willing to give them that opportunity on SmackDown Live because these guys are so chaotic that nobody, I believe it's Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan at the time, was willing to actually sign these guys just because of the uncertainty of what they will do to their roster. So they use Wyatt to give them a chance, and they use Wyatt to seep into SmackDown Live pretty much and rain chaos over it. Also, Bray Wyatt, I feel like he would have been made to look so cool on that era of SmackDown. Like, if it was the era of Wyatt instead of the era of Jinder. I feel like, dude, that's such a fuck up. Such a fuck up, man. Yeah, and as SAnitY are attacking Wyatt after the match, obviously after they beat him so lifeless, he can't kick out. Obviously, he's just beaten too bad. They beat him up, and the old Wyatt family vignettes play. Now, there's a reason. I swear, I know some of you are thinking, what? Some of you are thinking, you love Bray Wyatt so much, but it really sounds like you're burying him. I know what you're thinking. I know too. Now, they attack Bray, and the old Wyatt vignettes play. The old ones, the first installment of them. Rowan and Harper emerge to save and help Bray Wyatt. Rowan in the sheep mask. Harper, obviously, never wore a mask, so just Harper. Now, SAnitY and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, I was going to say the SAnitY family. SAnitY and the Wyatt family have a match at Survivor Series, and during the match, these guys are trying everything they can, but they cannot seem to put SAnitY away. Harper looks at Rowan. Harper grabs the sheep mask, and he crumbles it, because overall it is plastic. Now, these guys look at Bray. Rowan, I believe Rowan can do a super kick. Super kicks Bray in the back of the head, stuns Bray to run into a discus clothesline. They pick Bray up and give him the bludgeoning. and they leave him for SAnitY as they walk out, and this match ends in a no contest, obviously, because Rowan and Harper were not eliminated, but they just walked out on Bray. But they didn't walk out. They pledged their allegiance to SAnitY. Now, this is going to end quickly. Bray Wyatt, this is the end of this feud. For now. Bray Wyatt is off television. SAnitY have now gained Rowan and Harper, taking them away from Bray. SAnitY is now proven to be dominant. Obviously, here, these guys are still the tag team champions. What I tried to do with this is bring back the importance of picking your spot and the importance of the tag team championships, because this is what we need the most. These fucking tag team championships look so fucking ridiculous. Dude, look at the tag team championships now on Raw. I can't even tell you who the SmackDown tag team champions are. Who the fuck are the SmackDown tag team champions? Isn't it the New Day?
I think it is. I think, yeah.
Yeah, man. What we're doing here is we're bringing back the importance of the tag team championships, and we're bringing back the importance of just picking your spot and picking how the lengths that SAnitY were willing to go to just to be able to get on SmackDown. And once they were, they never let that opportunity slip out of their hands, and they took full advantage of it. Now, SAnitY, although SAniTY's proven to be dominant here, on the other hand, Bray is off television. Obviously, we know that. Bray's off television. Now, this is around Survivor Series 2018. Bray Wyatt came back after WrestleMania 35. Bray Wyatt goes away and returns as Firefly Funhouse Bray. And instead of him going after Finn Balor for no reason, oh my god, they have the red cell in this game. And instead of him going after Finn Balor I understand Finn Balor buried him as the demon at SummerSlam, but that's not really a reason to go after Finn. I mean, later down the line, as a mini feud, sure. That's a perfect mid-card feud for the Fiend to do while he's being built up for a world championship. But the Fiend comes back to take down his old brothers and who he thought were brothers, in SAnitY. And that's how I would book it, man. SAnitY need to be brought up in this I said the same thing for the UE, brought up in a way where they are taken seriously. They immediately make an impact, Nexus style, and they just immediately look like these crazy badasses who will do anything to get a chance. And I understand the feud with Bray is a little short, but that's just the dream feud we need to get out of the way. Also, it leaves a great what if. What if that would have never broke up so quickly? That leaves a great what if. And it's all for the greater good. I'm thinking about this. It's all in the greater good of them debuting The Fiend. Obviously, it gives a perfect first feud for this unbeatable monster to take down. And as for SAnitY, man, after that, they can be taken off TV, switch to brands for Resurgence, man. But yeah, they can be taken off TV and used as Resurgence. And they can come back and keep being dominant and keep on a steady path of just being a legit faction. And as for Bray, there's no better way to start The Fiend than going after the people that just betrayed you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When Bray's off TV for 6, 7 months, man, and they're on a high, and they think that They think that they're unbeatable, man, and the Fiend comes back and let them know, nah, I didn't forget about you. Yeah, man, and then as for SAnitY, same thing I said for Undisputed. There is a boatload of people you can have them face with. You can, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I can see Killian Dane as a WWE champion. Without a question. Without a question, I can see Killian Dane as a WWE champion. Had they booked him right. Obviously, putting him in a singlet is the downfall of it all, man. But yeah, putting these guys. Oh God, why do I keep yawning? I'm not even tired. Putting these guys in a group with Rowan and Harper will add legitimacy, and obviously just the intimidation factor. Similar to Sir K's, obviously he had Mitch Bennett instead of Rowan, and yeah, and these guys, fuck, the controller fell. These guys can just be booked dominant and not have to be booked through squash matches because that's not their character. They're there to be dominant. They're not there to prove their dominance. They're there to show. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it, man. And as for SAnitY, after the Wyatt feud, again, Undisputed, the OC, the New Day in a good way. These guys just have boatloads of people. Obviously we never got to see it because their paths just barely missed each other, but the Revival in SAnitY. Shit like that you can do, man. And yeah, and as for Wyatt, that sets up a perfect first feud for the Fiend. Obviously, this broke him. Obviously, in his promo he speaks, the very first promo he ever says that I uttered in the beginning of this. He cuts a promo about. I said how he cuts a promo about how he's found a new family, and that's because of how bad the year went for him. The year just went bad, man, and it was just a bad year. And now he is and this was able to break Bray and show him that he should have listened to the voices that he had mentioned in some of the Firefly Funhouses, man. But that's what I got. That's how you bring in SAnitY, and that's how you keep them as a dominant faction, and you just got to keep them fresh, man. You just got to keep them dominant. That's all it takes for any faction, really. And yeah, that's how I'd book the SAnitY main roster debut and sort of run for the beginning. So yeah, man, let us know what you guys think in the comments about these fantasy bookings, bro. So yeah,
It was definitely, man. That shit was crazy. That shit was actually really good. I like how Wyatt tied back in, and they were the main catalyst for, the Funhouse and the Fiend. I really dig that.
Yeah, for sure. They broke him. After such a rough year, that was 2017. They broke Bray. So, and he was able to come back and bring in his monster, his version of SAnitY, the Fiend. Yeah, man, that's what I got. So, anything else you got to say?
No, man. It was great shit, actually. I really liked it.
Thank you, and you as well. I love the dynamic of the bigger group and the swerve. I like the swerve with it being Harper. I thought that was a really cool addition. So,
most definitely.
Yeah, man. So, anything else to say for the viewers?
Thank you guys for watching. Tell us what you thought about this fantasy booking, if you guys want to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Let us know what you guys think of the fantasy booking. Next time we will be on here with the Mount Rushmores. Now we will tell you which Mount Rushmores we will be doing on Friday. Speaking of Friday, we got tons of news. We got Double or Nothing review. we got a lot of shit to go over with you guys. We got the revealing of which Mount Rushmores we'll be doing, so be sure to tune in for the Friday show. And yeah, man, that is going to do it for this episode of the Notorious Heels Podcast, part 1 of episode 8. We've been doing this for 8 weeks, well, technically 7, because we didn't do it in a part format for episode 1, so about 7 weeks, man. So, next week, we've been doing this for 2 months, man, and we've been sticking to it. Every time we said we were going to be on here, we're going to be on here, whether it's late, whether it's at our normal time, even though I don't mind the late ones. I don't mind the late ones at all.
I like the shows. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, man, and, yeah, so that is going to do it for this edition of the Fantasy Booking. The second time we came to you with Fantasy Booking, man. That is going to do it for this edition of the podcast. Any last words, bro?
Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Hope we can see you guys on the Friday show. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, for sure, man. Again, we got news. We got Double or Nothing review. That is going to do it, like I said, man, for this edition of the Notorious Heels Podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys with the news and review on Friday.
Peace.